There's nothing better than a community obsessed with an upcoming game, and if you haven't followed the development of an MMO before, boy are you in for a treat. My name is Codiak, and thanks to the help of the Corepunk community, here are new features confirmed before 2020. This video would not be possible without the help of Victor Loyan, who dug through countless threads to find and compile dozens of messages from the developers. A huge shout out to him, because without being a regular on the forums, you probably missed out on the information we're about to share in this video, and a lot of it has to do with gameplay systems that will shape the future of Corepunk. Of course, I have to start with PvE group content, since that is my bread and butter, and as a die-hard endgame MMO fan, I have to say I'm pretty excited. We saw a great example of dungeon content in the trailer, but when pushed further, the team tipped their hand just a bit when asked about raid groups. In a response on the forums about groups ranging between 12 and 20 players, the team responded with the all too ambiguous winky face, which is always a good sign that something is in the works. It's not a hard confirmation, but it's a good indicator that groups will extend beyond the 4-player dungeon max for endgame content. Additionally, for all you dungeon divers out there, we now know that Corepunk will feature randomly generated dungeons to some extent. This means your experience in some of the group content will vary each run, giving longevity to the experience. While randomly generated dungeons add a new dimension to group content, it also means that uniformity is out of the window. Think more Diablo than World of Warcraft, and you'll have a fair understanding of how it could all play out. While we're still on the subject of PvE, let's talk about professions. The team has confirmed that both the Hitman and Sheriff would be available as professions, and this is important because professions equate to secondary skills like gathering and mining. So you can imagine how these could play out if players take contracts, complete bounties, and of course, make a bit of coin for their endeavors. These are just two of the social professions the team revealed, with much more to come. Players looking for other things to do besides dungeon crawling and questing will be happy to know that crafting potions and other consumables will be available as secondary skills. Gathering professions like mining will help shape the foundation of those professions as players hunt for fossils, gems, metals, nuggets, salts, and various substances, all of which funnel into the crafting profession. While this is a standard fare for a good secondary skill system, we don't often see that many categories for gathering professions, so I anticipate a rather deep crafting gathering experience. And for anybody that was wondering, yes, fishing is a thing. The team also revealed that they're doubling down on secondary skills by giving players the option to invest in the looter talent branch, intended for those adventurers that spend a lot of time working on gathering and crafting professions. The talent tree isn't all fluff though. The passive bonus gives all players an additional 10% gold. Now, moving on to some more gameplay-centric topics, I wanted to take a minute to share that a Summoner class is being considered by the team. As most people know, the Summoner is one of the most popular RPG tropes across the board, and with everything we've seen about Corepunk so far, some unique variations of the class could be an incredible addition to the game. Now, in my initial reaction video, I harped on the pace of the combat, and would you look at that, the team has announced changes are being made to increase combat and player movement speed. Honestly, this is a big freaking deal for multiple reasons. One, the pace was the only thing about the trailer that I didn't really like, and two, it's nice knowing that the developers are actually listening to the community. I'm shocked because it's such a rarity with games of this size, but I'm damn happy they're making the changes because it's one of the things I think needed most. Some quality of life things also go hand in hand with this change, like the confirmation of an unlockable camera, which will prove to be a useful tool for scanning the area and scouting out any potential danger. Additionally, for more controller-minded players, the team has stated that they're considering adding gamepad support in the future. In terms of lore, the Corepunk team has confirmed that the game won't be all hack and slash, and that lore content will be present in the game and has been inspired by multiple cultures like samurai, Vikings, and knights. In-game cultures like the Kadari, Alanians, Torners, and Fade-Ins have all been named, but their origins and more about each faction still remains an unknown. In terms of some other news, we learned that both auction houses and player housing will be present in the game. These are both staples of modern MMORPGs, and I think I can speak for everyone when I say these are exciting additions to the game and ones I can't wait to learn more about. A final few PvE confirmations, we can now say with certainty that the player inventory can be expanded and that there will be different bags for different types of resources. It's a small thing, but bag space is a precious commodity in an MMORPG, and the team really needs to think through the system, especially when it compares to how much loot will be in the game. We touched upon the extensive raw resources before with gathering, and it could prove to be a pain point for players if they feel like they're constantly running back to the bank or city to empty their bags. It's a small thing, but an important one. And speaking of filling those bags, we also learned that gear will follow the traditional system of common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary rarity. Now, the PvE confirmations are all well and good, but the team didn't stop there. PvP is just as big in Corepunk as it is in other games. The team was generous enough to spill the beans on some of those features as well. First and foremost, I want to touch on the karma system, which we talked about in the previous video. The team reiterated that stronger players have next to no reason to kill weaker players. They gain nothing, and the punishment for doing so is severe. Flipping the script, there is also a system that will keep weaker players from bothering stronger ones and will be punished similarly if they become a nuisance. It's interesting to see the devs taking a hard line on day one on this system, and it's clearly something they're passionate about. I've always had a lukewarm relationship with World PvP. It's fun to play on a PvP server and gank an unsuspecting victim, but as a core pillar of a game, I just haven't seen it done well. I hope the Corepunk system can pave a way for World PvP, but I would rather see more effort spent on arenas and battlegrounds than on an elaborate World PvP system. We mentioned in the last video that World PvP kills could result in the victim losing items, and that's been confirmed again by the team, who says that PKs could result in the loss of significant items. Again, interjecting my opinion here, this is a slippery slope, especially in conjunction with the information I just shared about World PvP. At this point, there just doesn't seem like enough value to take part in the system, but there's still plenty of time to learn more about what World PvP will entail before we jump to any rash conclusions. I will say that the risk-reward part of the system needs to be thought out if the team wants players to actively participate in World PvP. In terms of other types of PvP, we learned that 1v1, 2v2, and 3v3 arenas will have a place in Corepunk. It sets the stage for a great entry to Corepunk's esports scene, and with the clear inspiration from MOBA-style games, it's a great way to merge genres and a familiar way to players from both sides of the coin. Another confirmation featured is Guild Wars, which I imagine will pit entire guilds against one another in large-scale PvP combat. It's unclear exactly what this means, but it definitely lays the groundwork for some massive battles and ultimate bragging rights. Finally, I wanted to bring up some important information about Fog of War, which is a key feature in Corepunk. The team explained that Fog of War will limit visibility, but it extends beyond just uninvestigated places. High ground and obstacles will also play a part in a player's vision. Now, on top of that, the Fog of War is shared between players so that you will always be able to see what's happening around your teammates. Finally, for anyone that was either curious or concerned, it's been confirmed that permadeath will not be a feature in the game on a server-wide level. I guess the possibility of hardcore characters is still on the table, but in terms of widespread rule sets, no dice. Corepunk has been announced for less than a month, and still there is so much information to dive through, and the developers are active on the forums, which makes for a really fun, interactive system with the community. If you guys want to learn more about this game, I highly recommend heading to the Discord, heading to the forums, and checking it out for yourself. And as always, I invite you to join us on Discord if you want to be part of a big video game community. We've got a lot planned for 2020, and Corepunk is definitely a piece of that puzzle. If you want to know more about the game or have a question, go ahead and leave us a comment in the section below. Remember to like and subscribe to the video, friends. And remember, my name is Codiak, and from everyone here at the Game Gurus, thanks for watching, and play on. Thanks for checking out the video. If you want to learn more about the game, or just want to be part of an incredible video game community, join the Game Gurus on Discord. Be the first to know what's going on with the channel and interact with me and the rest of the team on a daily basis. To join, check out the link below.